friends, I'm Diwali Bedi. I'm a clinical psychologist. I work with Sukoon Psychotherapy Center and I run this awareness program by the name of Sukoon Pledge to Seek Help. I'm interestingly asked to talk about this concept of comparison between the last generation and this generation. There is a lot of situations the parents say हमें तो अपने माँ बाप के आगे जुबान तक खोलने की इजाज़त नहीं थी. आज हम लोग अगर आपको परमिशन दे रखे हो तो आप ऐसे बोलते हो. Is that of any help? Like one of my friends usually talk about the fact that sometimes her husband talks to the kids कि हम लोगों ने कितनी मुश्किलों से struggle करके हम यहाँ तक पहुँचे हैं and you don't care what we give you. Are we basically expecting the next generation to sympathize with us that इतना कुछ you have been through such a rough phase, तो इसलिए हमें नहीं करना है कि हम हमारे ऊपर एहसान किया जा रहा है कि बेसिकली ये कुछ दिया जा रहा है. Or what is it? Your parents didn't give you means because they didn't have means. You were not supposed to speak in front of your parents because they never thought your words were valuable. You gave a person a permission to have a speech. So that speech, when a person is given a permission to be independent and have a speech, you can't force a person to think the same way as you. We are exactly making the child independent is about the idea that he or she will have a separate thought process and a separate understanding of what is happening. So are we trying to basically throw it across as a huge obligation that we are doing it, एहसान कर रहे हैं हम उन पे कि basically हमने ये दिया है और अब उस एहसान का बदला उतारते रहिए तुम, and be nice to us. We felt that this change was needed and they needed to be independent. So we have to somewhere understand that it cannot be an obligation, it cannot be you can't say that you have given them something in an expectation that उस एहसान के नीचे पूरी जिंदगी वो करते रहेंगे. If you're giving them a permission to be an independent individual, we have to realize that independence just doesn't mean just doing a favor. But अगर ब्रिटिशर्स हमें आज़ाद कर गए तो हमारे ऊपर एहसान नहीं कर गए. हम बेसिकली आज़ाद अब हैं तो we can have our own thought processes. If the next generation has the freedom to be independent, they would have their own thought processes. Now we cannot be blackmailing them that we have given you freedom and now you basically need to listen to us because we otherwise were so much tortured and we have been so nice to you by giving you freedom. This is a slight blackmail which is going completely off tangent. It is not workable. It is not. It is this wouldn't work. You saying that we had less means. हम आपको ज़्यादा means दे रहे हैं. So basically, be obligated to us throughout our life. That doesn't work out. You make a choice to give your child a certain kind of liberty and certain kind of lifestyle. That cannot be a blackmail that because I give you this, throughout your life you have to basically be my slave. Nobody would be. You give that person that much of liberty or not liberty, that's your choice that you make. But that doesn't mean that that doesn't make the child the prison, the slave of you as because you have given that person what you had. Which also says don't overspend, don't completely, don't go with an idea that I'm overdoing it for you so that you will do it in return. Provide means that you can provide means. Don't if you feel that you need to keep a security for yourself, it is not a bad idea. Parenting is somewhat being selflessly giving. Yes, but to a stage. Initially, we should realize that the child would be dependent on us, would be demanding. Human child cannot survive by itself. तो माँ बाप पे डिपेंडेंसी होगी उसको बेसिक सर्वाइवल के लिए आपको चीज़ें देनी पड़ेंगी. अगर आप उतना भी सेक्रीफाइस करने के लिए तैयार नहीं हैं तो शायद बच्चा नहीं पैदा करना ज़्यादा अच्छा डिसीजन होगा देन टू एक्चुअली हैव अ चाइल्ड एंड एक्सपेक्ट द चाइल्ड टू गिव बैक. बट समवेयर एक्चुअली हमारे कल्चर में होता है जहाँ पे बेसिकली जॉब भी मिलती है तो बच्चे कहते हैं कि हमारे माँ बाप का सपोर्ट सिस्टम है, दे विल सपोर्ट अस. वो हमेशा ये रहता है कि उनसे प्रॉपर्टी मिलेगी, उनसे सपोर्ट मिलेगी और उसके लिए बेसिकली मुझे पूरी ज़िंदगी उनकी बात सुननी पड़ेगी. ये जो ब्लैकमेल चलता है, ये जो चलता है कि बेसिकली दैट you are almost supposed to basically take care of us. Now it is sensible when it is done out of love and affection. When it becomes a blackmail, when it becomes a stressor, when it becomes almost like putting each other's life on future and life on risk for that, it doesn't make any sense. Like one of my client comes to me who was supposed to leave his full-fledged job abroad to come back to India because the parents blackmailed him that how could he leave him and go, whereas they were doing fine over here. They had money to earn. They had his sisters also over here, married, unmarried, around. They basically finished his future because they wanted him back. And it's done by a lot of families. It is common. This blackmailing doesn't take us anywhere. None of us would be happy in that family if the child has to come back and leave a successful career for the parents or anybody else. It is usually not a happy deal. Indeed, sometimes because of the illness of the spouses, man or woman, when you have to give up on careers, you're not happy. This is not a happy scenario. This is not going to lead to happy results. जहाँ पे कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है, देखभाल करनी मजबूरी है, being there is good. Nowadays even mothers to have their successful careers choose to have maids for the kids. Whereas we say that as a kid usually the child is completely dependent on the parents. So don't have a child if you cannot take care of the child at least for the initial 4-5 years. In that cases, people are seeking support from an external resource to have their own space also. Here we are talking of somebody who's grown up to basically completely depend on the other and finish off the future of the other person to get just a sense of solace that you're there with me. That idea in itself is flawed. It is basically creating a huge lot of stress in the next generation at times, or actually most of the time when they are in that scenario. We really need to think about it. Is this how a society should function? Is this actually our culture? The culture of being in a joint family, a culture of being self-sufficient? Is it being self-sufficient or basically destroying the next generation to make sure that the older generation survives? Where the survival wouldn't be at risk even if they leave. It is just the social sense that मेरा बच्चा मेरे साथ में रहता है, देखो हम कितने सक्सेसफुल फैमिली हैं कि हमारा बच्चा हमारे से अलग नहीं रहता है. It is not even survival in terms of real life threat that I can't survive without you. It is more like a social threat that my kid doesn't stay with me. We are basically pressurizing the next generation for this sense of just a social pressure that we are such loving family that we stay under one roof, whereas under one roof we are basically in our heads thinking of destroying each other all the time, and if not thinking overtly, there is a covert distress, there's a sense of dissatisfaction with what I'm living with and not at all happy with what I'm getting. So it's worth wondering that are we basically just wanting to blackmail our next generation that be with us, or we just want them to live their life and live it to the fullest and not just blackmail them by the name of social culture or हमारा ये जो एक्सट्रीम कंसेप्ट आता है कि इंडिया में बहुत ज़्यादा हमारा कल्चर बहुत स्ट्रांग है कि हम इकट्ठे रहते हैं. अगर इकट्ठे रह के बंदों को उसमें सफोकेट करके मारना है तो क्या ये कल्चर अच्छा है? It's maybe worth wondering over, and I would love to have your comments on it. Thank you.